All right, thanks everybody for coming to my ceremonial meeting today. We'll be celebrating Reed Hastings, who is CEO and founder of Netflix, if you're familiar with that. We're going to go back in the beginning of his life. He's quoted once that you don't know being broke until you've backpacked across Africa with nothing but $10 in your pocket. So my directive is basically Reed Hastings has started from the very bottom and worked his way to the top. We'll go to my first source, which is going to be Reed Hastings, or I'm sorry, my first point is Reed Hastings has expanded streaming media with Netflix. And my second point is that Reed Hastings, he's innovated network technology, gone from DVDs to actual streaming. And my third is that Reed Hastings has revolutionized entertainment. So my first point with Reed Hastings expanding stream media was when he began in Africa. He started in the Marines in the beginning, back in the 1980s, and then moved quickly on to the Peace Corps. From the Peace Corps, he actually taught math in Swaziland, is where it is in Africa. And then from there, basically, he, I guess, went trekking and then eventually decided to go to school where he got his master's graduate in computer science. And that point was where he created his first startup company, was Pure Software. And this is according to Business Insider, who did a phone interview with him. And he pretty much sold that company off and then began with Netflix. Originally started out with just a DVD-based system through the mail. And as he tried to keep up with technology and competitors like Blockbuster, he decided to expand into streaming media. And from there, we'll go ahead and move on to my second point, which is Reed Hastings innovated network technology. And for that, basically, when he went and expanded into streaming media, he needed to have a good source. They first started out with like a computer box, basically. It's a $300 computer, comes with its own hard drive. You put the movies you have in your queue, in your list, and then it will download them. The problem with that is that the internet is not expanded at that time. It was the early 90s and not everybody had high-speed internet. Dial-up was definitely not going to be compatible with the system. So what had happened is that they scratched that. Once YouTube came out in the early 2000s, they looked at how YouTube was able to stream media, and then in a compressed format, you could practically watch a movie. And they wanted that technology. They took what YouTube had, made it into what they put into Netflix, to where everybody can watch their streaming movies today. And then so for my second source in Biz Journal, Lauren Hepler, she actually went through and talked about how he sold Pure Software, which was his first startup company, how he learned his lessons managing that company, and how he made Netflix better because of it. And then so for my third point, which is revolutionizing entertainment, CNN and Fortune magazine, or Fortune magazine, part of CNN network, did a interview with him and was talking about Netflix, the mistakes he's made, and the progress he continues to go. It also went into some of the side projects that Reed Hastings has developed on. So the first thing is basically the mistakes he made with Netflix is that he tried to keep up with competitors with Blockbuster, and he offered them actually a share. He got into a plane, flew all the way down to San Antonio, Texas, into corporate Blockbuster, offered them a 49% stake in Netflix, and they turned it down. This was in early 2002. He had just under 1 million subscribers. Well, what had happened since they turned it down, he went ahead and he kept going. He kept going with that. Blockbuster didn't catch on. He finally got the streaming media thing going, and then his subscribers started building up. And then eventually in 2004, he had over 25 million subscribers. And Netflix was just, it was a wildfire. It caught on super fast. And then after that part, he basically wanted to keep with teaching. He's part of the school education board in California. He also, he was on there for 4 years, from 2004 to 2008. He also decided to join up with some other very wealthy individuals and designed something called Dreambox, which is software for 5th and 6th graders, and it basically teaches math. So going back to the 1980s, when he was teaching math in Swaziland, he's basically taking everything he'd begun with, and he's still applying it now that he has the resources and of course the finances, and he's actually able to give back. So with these 3 points, that Reed Hastings has expanded streaming media, he's innovated with network technology with the streaming media online now, and he's, for my 3rd point, he's revolutionizing entertainment by introducing new movies and so forth. Reed Hastings is pretty much who I would like to celebrate today in my ceremonial speech. And one of the few reasons why we should recognize individuals who started from the very bottom, had what they could be a dream, and then used other people's ideas to help make that dream possible and more greater. So Reed Hastings, you here. Always over time. It's okay. Yeah, you go.